y'all? It's Katie.
What does that sound there?
I think that's the chat.
Okay. How y'all doing? It's a Friday morning. It's April 25th. We're outside walking along the track, and we got some stuff to talk about today.
Yup, so when y'all join this live, go ahead and like. We finna get into it.
Like, share, and subscribe, okay? All right, so what are we talking about today, Kyle?
We're finna talk about how people need to stop outsourcing their self-contracts.
Ooh, wait. Soul contracts? Is that what you said?
I said self, but I was thinking soul too.
Okay. So what is a soul contract?
I feel like anything that you got a problem with or anything you need to work on.
So something basically you signed up for on this incarnation on earth. Is that what you mean?
Right, basically.
Okay, cool. And how do you think like people are outsourcing? You said stop outsourcing the self-contract, right?
Right.
So how do you think people are outsourcing it?
So basically going outside yourself. So we could take your healing, for example. Every time you go to a hospital or a doctor, you outsourcing your healing.
Mm-hmm.
You're not trusting your own strength, your own willpower to heal yourself, basically.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So, and to that point, a lot of people, we've been brainwashed and convinced that we need saving, like we are flawed, like it's just something that is ingrained in like every aspect of society. It's in our education system, it's in our pharmaceutical system, it's everywhere. It's in religion. Religion is probably, I feel like, the greatest. It has like the greatest impact on us, whether we're conscious of it or not. But like, we're all taught that, we need a savior, like we're flawed, and we need for someone to come save us. And when that happens, as Cal says, we are outsourcing our self-contract. I haven't heard of self-contract, so that's interesting. I'm used to hearing soul contract. But yeah, so it's just crazy, like the type of agenda that we have been exposed to, just in regard to outsourcing who we are, outsourcing our divinity, and not even being aware of our divinity. So it's like a lot of people walking around, they don't even know how powerful they are. And that's why it is important to know thyself.
So how does one start the journey to finding about themselves?
Sure. So first of all, I think there has to be a need or the will to find out about yourself. So for me, I don't know, I was unconscious. I don't know if that's the right word, but I was unconscious for a while. So I didn't really have the need to find out about myself. I thought like you found out about yourself through external means. So by collecting external accomplishments, getting a college degree, getting these good grades, money, homes, houses, cars, like stuff like that. That's the closest I ever got to knowing thyself. And I realized that has nothing to do with really knowing yourself. It's just more so you seek those things because of your conditioning. And knowing yourself is really like knowing who you are internally. Like, what is the soul craving and not necessarily what is the body craving. And I use a bunch of tools in order to help me to figure out who I am. But I will say, as a disclaimer, at the end of the day, tools are there for a reason. So as you know, I do astrology. And do not outsource who you are to something outside of yourself, even astrology, right? So I can use it as a tool, but if I'm becoming dependent on it, like I can't think for myself, or I can't get in tune with what my body is telling me to do or wanting, I have to go to astrology for everything. That's kind of where you're making astrology be your savior. You know what I'm saying? So it's just so many ways that this savior complex or this victim complex can manifest in real life. So you have to be careful, because at the end of the day, as I said before, like, you are divine. You have all the answers. You can use your external environment. Your external environment is there to inform you of what's happening internally, sorry. So, yeah. What you got to say about that, Mr. Donegan?
I feel like you said, things like astrology can be a tool. Use these tools as guides, but you always got to go within to resonate on it and see how, like, you can use the external tools to help you internally, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so, like he said, like, it's just a guide. So, even the work that I do, I don't even like calling myself a coach, because the coach part, it makes it seem like I'm the authority, right? I don't like to call myself an abundance coach or a life coach or a purpose coach. I just like to call myself a guide, because I'm here to help guide people. But if I'm coaching someone, it's like I'm the authority and I'm telling them what to do, when really I'm just trying to help people realize something in themselves that they already inherently got. So I'm guiding them. So that's key. But we're, like I said, like, we're very powerful, and there's been a campaign, it's been propaganda, it's been indoctrination to keep us from this very fact that how powerful we are. Our DNA is extremely, extremely powerful. That people will go to great lengths in order to extract it and use it for their own advantages. And just like scientifically speaking, because I know a lot of people, at least for me, like, I need a logical way to understand this stuff. So, dang, I forgot what I was going to say. But, like, our DNA essentially holds all of our memories. It holds all of our memories. And if you look at technology, for example, like, basically technology, and I remember what I was about to say, but technology is basically just a reflection of what humans are capable of. And so we have things, for example, like the television. The television is there to communicate ideas with each other and share it with you. Don't step on that. To share it. And so that's what it's doing. But, humans, we already have that innate ability. So, like, the camera, the lens, like, it's meant to replicate the human eye. So all of this stuff, it's this quote, I think it's, humans inform itself through its creation. So we learn a lot about ourselves when we create things and we put it out into the physical world. And it can only be put out in the physical world because it exists internally. So everything we put out came from us. So there's like, we are everything, if that makes sense. And so, but we also we're blocked off from a lot of our powers. So this is what I was about to say before. If you learned in science class about, like, junk DNA, there's no such thing as junk DNA. That's just DNA that the powers that be are trying to figure out. themselves. Like there's no such thing as junk DNA. It's just we're kind of cut off from that. Um,
How do you get cut off from that DNA?
that's a good question. Can you answer that?
I say, like, for everything that we ingest in our body, so our food, what we look at visually, what we hearing, and that all plays on our external plays on our internal. So all the things that we ingesting is affecting us internally. So that's creating negative thoughts that's not even yours. Your body is getting controlled by parasites. So like they down there thinking for you. You think you love sweets, but you don't really like that shit for real. You haven't even gave yourself the chance to thrive off the fuel that it actually need, like fruits and vegetables and herbs and stuff to detox the body. So yeah.
Definitely. And I know it's also like, just like I mentioned before, it's a lot of propaganda going on. Like when you turn on the TV, people convincing you that you are flawed, as I said before. A lot of people are disconnected from their feelings, from their intuition, from their empathy. That's why we have so much like violence and greed and fear in the world, because of that very fact.
And all this fear and trauma and stuff is causing blockages. Like your body is electricity, so you must flow at all times to perform at top level. Right. And they know this, so like that's why a lot of people feel like they stuck or like damn they complacent. But if you understand that, like, and zoom out, you will see that it's still motion. You just gotta, you know what I'm saying, keep going. And learn about yourself, man. This shit real life. Bro.
Definitely. So I was just looking at that little clip from the Matrix somebody posted. It was saying like, I think it was an oracle, and she was giving, I don't even know his name, but she was giving the dude something. I don't know his name. I won't say it wrong.
You talking about Neo?
Yeah, probably that's his name. I don't look. You know I'm not good with names and movies and stuff.
I watched all the movies.
But she was saying like, well, he was saying Neo. He was saying like, well, you know I'm already going to take it. So what's the point of acting like you're giving me a choice? And she was like, you're not here for choices. It's something. You're not here for choices. You're here to figure out why you made the choice. And I'm like, oh, okay, that was deep. And I think, why we made this choice is we're trying to learn just how divine we are, right? And this is why we have a lot of darkness also in the world. Like, yeah, darkness is bad, but it also serves its purpose, because, you don't know what light feels like if you don't know what darkness feels like. And so I think we're here to kind of learn these lessons about ourselves. And one of the very lesson that's probably the most important is just understanding how powerful and divine we are. And sometimes we have to learn that by the illusion that we are stripped of our power. But we have to go and find ourselves, our true selves, which is that we are divine, we are powerful. So yeah.
And that basically goes with, like, you gotta get lost for. You basically lose yourself, gang. And then you're gonna start asking questions. And then the more questions you ask, the further along you're gonna get on your journey.
Definitely. So, Cal, what have you been doing, like, I guess, to try and rediscover your divinity, your power? Like, what have you done?
I feel like, me personally, I've always been different. And I've always been, like, I feel like I always knew my power for real. Yeah. And then we go through life, and like we get like, our light get dim, and like we go through shit, and that brings us further away from ourselves. So you'll probably see somebody that you knew as a child, and they look like they light is like gone, from them. They'll look different or something. That's because, like, all the trials and tribulations you go through, but you got to go through that to lose yourself and to actually build your character for real.
Yeah, but you know, sometimes people, they, instead of being empowered, they see themselves as a victim of it.
Right, and you can get addicted to being a victim.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, like, your daily habits is very important, because, like, every time you get triggered by something, you're gonna go back to what you used to. So try to, like, incorporate more healthier habits for yourself. But understanding your triggers too, your patterns, is very important. And this person right here is good at reading people, and I feel like that rubbed off on me for real.
Definitely. Like, I didn't realize, honestly, I'm realizing something every day, but like I didn't realize how like powerful just the fact that my pattern recognition is. Like, even just growing up, even before I was spiritually awakened, quote unquote, like I would always be so amazed. Like, I would see women like in relationships with dudes, and then like they'd be surprised to like cheated or something. I'd be so surprised. Like, you really, come on now. It it's like, I feel like, yes, people can be deceptive, but sometimes like I can just look at somebody and just tell them, just based off their habits and stuff, like the type of person they are. I'm not saying I know people, every aspect of people, but like I was just always like grew up surprised like how like dumb some women can be over men, like, or surprised that just in general, surprised that certain outcomes had a certain outcome. It's just like, I'm very good at pattern recognition, and I think a lot of people are unconscious to their patterns. And I always say, make the unconscious conscious, and that's like the first step to getting in touch with your power and your divinity. So.
Right. You said something about that you need to something about stepping into the light. What'd you say?
I said that.
Something about stepping into the light. But in reality, they ass be tricking you, for you need to be in the dark, for your ass need to be by yourself.
Yeah.
You need to go to that darkness, because that's where your shadows is.
Mm-hmm.
All your trauma, all your childhood trauma. Like, we got trauma we don't even know about, like, and it started with your birth, folks. That's why the hospital's so wicked. They literally snatch your baby away from the mother. It be in a whole nother room. So right there, that's already creating trauma. And then y'all be trying to figure out why your baby always crying when you not around them or something. Because they got like a trust issues, like all back. Like, damn.
It's just like that's why I feel like the medical, and we could talk about this too, because I got a lot of experience with this. The medical system, they know that they are, for a lot of babies, the first experience they will ever experience. And when I say that they know, I don't mean like the doctors and the nurses. I'm really talking about the powers that be, because the doctors and the nurses, a lot of them think they're doing the right thing. They like, I don't know if Cal think that. Do you think they doing the right thing? What you think? I'm stuffing that.
I mean, it could be a little bit of both. All aspects.
Well, I personally think majority of the time they think they're doing the right thing. But you know, the powers that be, they know that babies, their first imprint on the world would be what they experience in the hospital. So it's just funny how we've outsourced that part of ourselves. You know, we used to birth at home on our own terms. Now we go somewhere to give birth, which is crazy. Like, in hindsight, when I think about it, make sure he not. But yeah, so it's like they start that fast, like just separate. Like, the first person that touches your baby is not the parents. They're born in this fluorescent light. Just everything away from nature, you know. They take the baby away. They cut the cord off as soon as the baby's born. Like, it's just everything to disconnect you just starting right off. And then, let's not talk about the vaccines that they try to push down your throat.
Don't
like,
say the V word, folks.
Oh, I can't
we
say
ain't
it.
trying to get shot up, man.
The things, the jabbers, the jabbers that they push down your throat as soon as the baby is born. It's like they gotta hurry up and cut them off. What's the rush? It's so crazy because I remember with my daughter, which is my firstborn, like I was saying, no jabbers. When she was first born, because they was like thirsty to give it to her. I'm like, no, I don't want none. And then she went to her well visit appointments. Mind you, well visit appointments just to sell you jabbers. I think I can say vaccines. I've been saying people say vaccines all the time.
All right, folks.
But yeah, so even I denied it, and then I went to her appointment, and they still talking about vaccines. And I'm just like, what? Why would she need like a hepatitis B vaccine? Like, nothing ever made sense to me. Why does she need a hepatitis? Why is it so important that she has to get it right now? And I still said no, but I did end up vaccinating her up until like from 2 months to 6 months. She was vaccinated, and then I stopped once I really, really found out the truth. At first, it was just more so of a logical thing, like hepatitis B. Ain't this like a... Don't you have to be exposed to somebody's blood? Like, I've been living for how long, and I've never been exposed to anyone's blood. Like, why would she, in this first 2 months of her life, be exposed to someone's blood? It didn't make sense to me. But I also started learning, like, the spiritual aspect of it, which is what we're talking about, is they try to disconnect us from our divinity as soon as we touch down. That's why babies are so valuable, because they're the purest. That's why they want to get them. Like, babies are the purest form of life. So even with like these vaccines, it's a reason why they use, remember we were listening to it, it's a reason why they use fetuses to make vaccines instead of humans, because humans, we're already what's the word?
Contaminated.
Yeah, we're basically already contaminated. We're full of toxins because of all the air, water, food that we've been exposed to. So they like the fetuses, and so it's crazy. But yeah, that's all I gotta say about that part. You got anything else to say? How long have you been on here?
22 minutes.
I like that number. But yeah, we could just end it off by saying, we are powerful, y'all, and we're just learning like how powerful we are. It's stuff coming out every day, and these things are coming out because of like doctors and scientists who thought they went into their career fields to help people, and then they started asking questions like, okay, well, this doesn't make sense, and then they started branching off out of the system and doing their own research. And it's new science coming out every day, but the system isn't really going to
What's up, little boy?
the system isn't really going to release this new research that these scientists and doctors, because first of all, they're the one that trained them, but they're not going to because it basically contradicts everything that they've taught us about the human body, how flawed it is. For example, everything that happens to us when we get sick is because our body is trying to heal us. It's trying to detox. We cough to let out mucus, right? We sneeze to let out toxins. Our body heats up when we get sick to kill intruders. And what the medical industry does, they're taught to suppress these symptoms, but these symptoms are actually what heals us. And so we're finding this out every day, right? It's like new stuff coming out every day, but like you wouldn't know about it unless you actually seek it, because the system is designed for you not to figure this information out. So that's all I got to say.
Yeah, man. Make sure y'all share this live. Yeah, folks, tune in to the next episode. We just gonna be uploading. Ain't no schedule for real. You know, we feel like getting on here talking to y'all, we're gonna pop up. But yeah, if y'all want us to talk about a specific topic, go ahead and comment down below. And we'll give our insight on it.
For sure, for sure. All right, y'all.